and soon as I blinked, the angel disappeared. My question is, why? An angel appeared in your house, scared the shit out of you, and then left immediately. It didn't impart any wisdom, it didn't impart a feeling of happiness or love, it just was there like, hello, I'll be gone soon. Hello lovely people, my name is Emma, welcome back to my channel, welcome if you are new. Let's have some fun. Today I thought we would have a little fun, we'll do something kind of silly. For some reason, I must at some point have asked a tech question, a computer question or something on Quora, or my Google search history has taken me to Quora. Anyway, I get questions from Quora delivered to my inbox. If you're not familiar, it's a website where it's like Yahoo Answers. Anyone can ask a question, anyone can reply, you vote up if somebody gives a good answer. Most of the time, as I say, people use it for like, how do I keep my house cool in the summer? My keyboard has stopped working, what do I do? People also use it to talk about their spiritual and supernatural experiences. And I get these delivered to my inbox. Again, don't know what I've clicked. I've never clicked unsubscribe because some of them are extremely funny. Sometimes I think the replies are really good, and I just thought it would be a crime not to share these with you. Just as a little break from some of the more serious, scary hate stuff that we see, I thought it would be fun to just look at some silly stuff. I think Quora has become more popular since Yahoo Answers sadly passed away. Can you believe we live in a world without Yahoo Answers now? That is so sad. So, I'll just share some of the fun, supernatural questions that I've come across on Quora. How do you know if God is angry? This person's tagline is, atheist since capable of sentient thought. Easy, he isn't. If he existed, why do you think the actions of one tiny person among 8 billion on one tiny world, among hundreds of millions of other planets, within this smallish galaxy which itself is one of trillions of other galaxies, would care about anything you did to the point of divine anger? Yes! That is such a good and relatable comment. If there's one thing we've learned from studying the universe, it's that we are but tiny, insignificant dots on the plane of everything. Part of upholding these seemingly contradictory to science and discovery religious beliefs that are so small scale, God created us, he made this planet for us, forget about that whole universe out there. I think part of that is about feeling significant amongst everything. We were created by God, by the ultimate being, and so we matter, we mean something, we can make him angry or sad or happy. Reality is, if something created the universe, they've got a far bigger scope of shit to worry about than whether you brushed your teeth yesterday. You know what I mean? Why should you never summon a succubus/incubus demon? This person's tagline is, occultist of some variety. It's kind of self-explanatory, isn't it? Succubi and incubi are parasites. They feed off your life force. They cause nightmares. They aren't nice spirits. If you want a spirit as a sex partner, it's always better to just make one yourself. What? That way you know you can trust it, and it won't harm you or dump anything nasty on you. Make one yourself? Is that a thing? Let me know in the comments below if you know anything about making your own spirit sex partner. Because I don't get it. Why do some people refuse to believe God's word? This person says, what is this God's word of which you speak? Every word I've ever heard about religion, including the Bible itself, was written by human beings. Some of them say that they were divinely inspired, but again, those are just claims made by human beings. I have no particular reason to believe such claims, especially when the tales they're referring to are so outrageously implausible. Women being formed from ribs, talking snakes, worldwide floods, parting seas, etc. Why do some people refuse to believe God's words? You mean his words such as this? The earth is flat, motionless, set on pillars, orbited by the sun, under a star-speckled dome that keeps out the waters of space, whilst letting in some through windows as rain. Need I say more? I don't know what somebody expects when they ask that sort of question on the internet. Can the Ouija board summon demons? Oh boy, this is quite long. This starts with some text in parenthesis that says, true as far as I know. The Ouija board has a serious, dangerous shortcoming. It is effectively like opening a door to a slightly higher dimension. Higher dimension. Like it's higher. Or is everybody in this dimension a little bit blazed? In this case, the lower fourth dimension. I thought the fourth dimension was time. That's effectively what you are doing, as those who dwell in the lower fourth dimension tend to be evil, service to self, and enjoy toying with the minds of those who are unable to accurately assess the impact of what they are doing. This is like leaving your house door open at 3 a.m. in a bad area of town. You might get an angel walking down the road and come into your home to talk to you, but it's not likely. Unless you are able to exert a powerful control over the portal you've opened, you're allowing evil beings to exert influence over you. Evil beings! A small true story, citation needed, about the use of a Ouija board. Most people in the UK have heard of the defence of the Bat House in Oman by the Special Air Service troopers who ended up holding off a huge attack by Omani rebels. The battle ended with the rebels being driven off with heavy casualties due to some incredibly heroic actions by the soldiers, and this battle is often quoted with awe in UK military circles. What is far, far less known, for some reason, is that the night before the attack, the troopers decided to mess about with a Ouija board. Some played the game, some did not, but it is a fact, capital letters, that every single one of the troopers who played with the Ouija board were injured or killed. Every single one of the troopers who refused to take part ended the battle uninjured. Shall we just have a quick Google? I think we should have a quick Google. There's nothing in the Wikipedia page about this battle that mentions, Ouija board? I can't find anything on the internet anywhere that suggests that Ouija was a part of this battle, so I'm gonna have to assume this person's telling a little bit of a cheeky fib. I can't believe people would do that on the internet. Similar question. Are Ouija boards fake or real? Top response. My mum had one that convinced me that yes, they do channel spirits. Back in 1965, my mum and her friend Sheila were playing around with one. I was in a bassinet and Sheila's son Robbie was in his crib. We were only a few months old. Robbie was about a month older than I. In the middle of asking a question, the planchette went to, check baby. It kept saying check baby until the third time when it finally ran off the table. Then the table lifted up off the ground and slammed back down. It's amazing that it had to do that 3 times before either of these parents were concerned enough to actually check the babies. 3 times it spelled out the entirety of check baby. So it did that once and they were like, ooh, that's weird. It did it a second time, they were like, ooh, that's weird. Should we try it again? Check the baby! My mum and Sheila ran to check on us and discovered Robbie's blanket had become tangled around his neck. My mum and Sheila threw away that Ouija board after that. Then, I was at a slumber party in my tweens and fiddled around with one. It kept spelling, die, die, die. Maybe it was a German spirit with a speech impediment. You ever think about that? That was all it took for me to say, no more Ouija. Yeah, sure, it could have been, and probably was, the other girls. No way was I taking chances. As Anonymous pointed out, Ouija boards exist. That's pretty well established. However, if you're looking for why they're generally accepted as not having anything to do with spirits, ghosts, demons, or anything else supernatural, that's due to the amount of testing and research that's been done on them, all proving that people controlling the Ouija board are consciously or subconsciously controlling the platinum. So I guess my Ouija board is never going to put me in contact with a cool demon or a spirit. Disappointing. Do people know... Fuck's sake. Do people know that they're going to hell in their afterlife for not believing in God? Nobody knows that, because it is not a thing that it is possible to know. I once heard a tale about a Buddhist monk who got into a discussion with someone who told him hell is real. Is there a lot of suffering in hell? The monk asked. Yes, terrible suffering, the other answered. The monk replied, then I need to go there, because my role is to relieve suffering. Love that answer so much. My god, this is a stupid question. Okay, ready for this? Why aren't non-believers terrified of Satan? Why aren't non-believers terrified of Satan? How can you be afraid of something that doesn't exist? This answer is basically exactly what I would say. The first thing to note is that non-believers don't believe in Satan. How can you be afraid of something that doesn't exist? Let's play and look at the evidence, shall we? In the Bible, God kills millions of people, even at one point, wiping out the whole human race by drowning everyone apart from a small handful of people. Satan, on the other hand, kills 10, and those were on the orders of God. Why don't atheists just start believing in God so they can go to heaven? Duh! This is a really stupid version of the already stupid Pascal's wager. I like this answer. Okay, listen. I'm a Christian, and my gosh, I'm insulted by how dumb you are. Atheists don't believe in God, right? That means they also don't believe in heaven or hell. They don't believe in any of that. How do you not get this? How do you just start believing in something? Like, I think it's probably safer to believe in this, but how do you then convince yourself that something is true? I understand the long-term ways of actually convincing yourself of something via moving into an echo chamber and conducting research inside of that and blah blah blah. But I love the idea of people saying, just believe it. Okay, but I can't just believe that there are fairies at the end of the garden. I'd love there to be fairies at the end of the garden, as long as they're nice ones, but I can't trick my brain into thinking that that's true because I know that it's not. So bizarre. What do angels look like? Also, how big are they? Fucking huge, mate. Fucking massive. Well, according to the Bible, there's cherubs, like the ones that guarded the Gate of Eden, which are like half human, half animal. So kind of like, I don't know, furries. And then angels are mentioned in the book of Ezekiel, which I shall just find. Although I believe these are seen in a vision. If I remember correctly, these are seen in a vision and therefore maybe he was just having a dream and that's not what they actually look like. Do-do-do, stormy wind came out, blah blah blah. From the midst of it came the likeness of 4 living creatures. And this was their appearance. They had human likeness, but each had 4 faces, and each of them had 4 wings. Their legs were straight, and the soles of their feet were like the soles of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like burnished bronze. Under their wings, on the 4 sides, they had human hands. So there you go, it's as simple as that. That's what angels look like. Let's see if the people of Quora have a similar experience of angels. I have seen an angel only once, in the middle of the night, at the foot of my bed. Like others describe, how coincidental. Like others describe, he was physically large and very strong-looking. His clothing was white, a white so bright that it glowed. He had long hair and kind but rugged features. Aren't they supposed to be terrifying? Every time an angel appears in the Bible, people are like, "Wah!" And the angels have to be like, "Don't be afraid. It's cool. I'm an angel. It's cool." Bit rude, actually, but it's okay. No offense taken. He didn't speak to me with his mouth, yet I felt he communicated with me some other way, letting me know I'm deeply loved and watched over. It's really cool for Greg that he thinks that an angel wanted to make sure he knew that he's loved and cared for. Bit harsh to everyone else in the world, especially the people going through horrible, horrible things constantly. Just seems like angels have the wrong priority. Seems like they seem to mostly target believers that don't actually need them. When I was 16 years old, I saw an angel. I just walked in the house from school. I walked into the den, my eyes were attracted to the light shining through the blinds. As my eyes were looking at the light, I looked to my right. Sitting on the couch was a huge form of a man sitting on the couch. About 7 to 8 feet tall, he was dressed in a bright white I ever saw, with gold trimming with a big gold tassel around its waist. He had like a cloth over its face to hide the brightness of its face, sitting completely still, with its hands on its knees. He had no wings, and he wore sandals with straps with the wrap going up his knees. The angel spoke to me without speaking to me. He told me, "You can look at me as long as you want, but as soon as you blink, I'll be gone." I strained my eyes to keep looking. I had enough time to look at all the vivid details of this massive being. I was in shock, and soon as I blinked, the angel disappeared. Then terror came over me, just like in the Bible, and I ran out the house until my parents came home. My question is, why? An angel appeared in your house, scared the shit out of you, and then left immediately. It didn't impart any wisdom, it didn't impart a feeling of happiness or love, it just was there like, "Hello, I'll be gone soon," and then fucked off. Why would an angel do that? I saw a tall man in my peripheral once at a museum event. I could not turn and catch him directly. He left the room and I saw him directly at the end of a hallway. Tall, beautiful and shape-shifting. Well, race and face-shifting. He was trying to erase what I saw and just leave me with a vague feeling. At least that is my strong impression, since I can't prove anything. So it wasn't working, so he smirked and then just evaporated. What is the implication here? The angels are chilling out at galleries? They want to go to exhibitions? People don't think. If that makes you happy, bro, you live that life. I've saved my favourite one for last. Ready? Have you ever encountered Satan? What happened? Okay, This is my absolute favourite answer out of any of the ones that we've seen. When I was 12 years old, I was foolish enough to dare you-know-who, to prove that he was real. I can't go into every detail because I'm too terrified of him. And then they've included some poster art from Diablo 3, which, if you're not familiar, is a video game. I will say, without even mentioning it aloud ever, my greatest fear was and still is becoming blind. After I dared him using the phrase as indicated in my first sentence, which I'm too scared to say ever again, within about 10 seconds, I literally could not see anymore. I literally fell to the ground, instantly collapsing, and had the most bizarre rush of extreme cold and extreme heat go through my entire body. Sounds like this person had like a fit or some heat stroke or something. So much of the time when I read these like people who have had spiritual experiences, I'm really concerned that they have some kind of undiagnosed epilepsy or something. Like maybe they had a mini stroke. You know, the way they describe these things. It's like what's the woman? Catherine? She's another fake doctor. I've talked about her before. I talked about her on Simon Dan's channel. I've forgotten her name. But she has visions where she talks to Jesus, but she always like collapses to the floor. And has this, and you're like, that really sounds like some form of epilepsy, and I'm very concerned that you're not going to get help for it because you think that it's Jesus. I don't know, that's what strikes me when I read these stories, and it makes me very concerned. This is one of the reasons that I think superstition is very, very bad. There you go. That was just a bit of fun. That was just some fun, weird stuff from Quora that popped into my inbox every now and then, and I thought I would share it with you. So, let me know what you thought down below. Let me know what your favourite is. Mine is definitely the one with the Diablo 3 picture about the devil. I don't know why, that just when I saw that, I cracked up. It's so good. In case you don't know what they're talking about when they're talking about the devil, they gotta put this video game art in there. Been like, you know, this one. It would be such an amazing coincidence if angels and demons and the devil and stuff not only existed, but look exactly like how we imagine them in pop culture. It'd be like seeing a vampire and it turns out it's a guy from like the earliest movie adaptations of Dracula. Different than how he's described in the book, very different. And it's just like a guy, you know, with pointy teeth and a big cape going, hey, doing the Nosferatu. Anyway, I went off on a bit of a tangent there, what was I saying? Yeah, do like this video if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you'd like to see more of this kind of thing. Before we go, I would like to give a big thank you to my giant chickens over on Patreon. Thank you once again for watching, have a very lovely week, and I will see you really soon.